Okay guys, welcome back, and gals, let's not leave anybody out. What we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and reboot this computer, and then I'm going to do the installation of some administration or admin tools that are good. So what we're going to do is sudo reboot, not reboot, and this will come back. You'll see this fancy little splash screen that you've been missing since I've upgraded it to Jesse. There it is, ain't that pretty? Okay, so I'm going to get this started. And we go through here, some of these are not really required. Some of them may not even apply. Like if you do not have wireless, this is a desktop and it's wired, you don't need to install wireless tools. Things like that, and I'll let you know what they do. All right. Okay, first things first, we're going to talk about an FTP server. I'll show you why. See, fish automatically. It's just so special, isn't it? Come on, there you go. Okay, now see if I went back and I echoed my shell again. Fish, awesome. Let's clear that out. All that installing, how much RAM are we using? Oh my goodness, a whole 249 megs. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is install ProFTP. If you will have a different one that you want to use other than ProFTP, you go right ahead. ProFTPD. And what this is an FTP server. I have it installed on my host because I have other devices in the house that will upload things to my primary host here. I want to do this one here real quick because I want to show you how I have this set up at the house. Okay. And we're just going to let it install what it needs to install. Now, here's where the trick is. If you choose from inetd, every time you reboot your computer, it's going to start service automatically. I find it easier to use standalone. That way you can start it and stop it yourself, just whenever. Mine stays disabled. It's a security thing. That way I don't have an open and running FTP server just waiting to be hacked if somebody gets into my network. Alright, now it's running. Or it's installed, it's not running. I will get to how to start that in just a few minutes. One thing that I like to do, I do this on all my computers, even though I am a command line guru, I absolutely love the command line, is there are some tools that are best served in a web browser. One of those is webmin, webmin.com. Alright, we're going to go over here to the Debian package. I want to let that download. I'm going to keep it. Okay, while that's installing, I'm going to install a couple other things real quick. Pay attention, replay this video if you have to, but I'm going to show you something really cool. Install. Now inside curly brackets, we're going to put the top out next to it, just like that. See, curly brackets, top. What this does is we're going to install htop, if top, io top, and a nice neat little thing called in top. So instead of typing all those words out, all I just had to just put those in curly braces, and each one is separated by comma. That's pretty wicked, isn't it? Now notice right here, where'd you go? Right here, new packages to be installed. If top, io top, in top, just like that. HTOP is already installed. I knew I was missing one. Okay, now the devices we want to listen on are WLAN 0, ETH 0, and LO. And I'll get to that in just a second. We're going to do an administrative password. And that was for InTop, by the way, that screen. Because this is kind of wicked cool. All right, back over here in Chrome, we're going to go to 127.0.0.1, port 3000. Come on now. Connection refused. Why is connection refused? I told you to go to LO. Alright, well, we can try our external IP, 192.168.1.14. That's not doing it either. It's kind of weird. Not exactly sure why. I'll have to get back with you on that one. Okay, we got our webmin installed, or downloaded, and again, it's going to be in the downloads directory. I'm going to minimize that window. Okay, now in here is our webmin. Again, sudo dpackage. See, it already knows what I want to do. Hey, wheel mice. We're going to install webmin. That InTop thing is something that I just discovered recently, and I haven't really played around with a lot. It just looked really cool. And it went in the first time with no problems on the host machine, so I was assuming that it would do so here on this machine, but apparently it isn't. And I will get back with you on that. Okay, this one needs some additional stuff. So what we're going to do is go back over here. Remember how to do that, right? Sudo apt-get -f install. Yes, we're going to continue. And unfortunately, you can only have aptitude or apt-get running once per session because it creates a lock file, and I can't open up another terminal and start installing other stuff, which is unfortunate. Okay, so it gets back to the prompt here. Alright, now there is a problem. That problem is our root user is locked out. Okay, now if you remember, we did that during our install. There is no root at all. You have to have the root user and the root password to log into this specific thing. So I'll show you how to get around this. We're going to sudo su-dash and hit enter. Look, we are magically root. If it asks you for the password it's asking for is your sudo password. Now what we're going to do here is create a password for the root user. Okay, now we're going to go to this website right here, which is on our local host. In a new tab. No, that's not what I wanted. Fingers aren't working very well. Let's go over here. We're going to do it right here in this window. And this is going to be on port 10,000. Oh, it wants HTTPS. Now you're going to get this cert authority invalid. That's because it's using a self-signed certificate and not a CA issued certificate. If you want to use an authentic certificate at home, you go right ahead and install one. Alright, so here what we're going to do is we're looking for root and our fancy password, and we're going to hit login. Just like that. Okay, it looks like there's some problems here. It wants to install a couple of things, but we're not worried about that right this very second. But anyway, this tool is really cool. It shows we're on Debian 8. It shows what kind of processor we have there. It shows load averages, all kinds of stuff. But over here on the left hand side, we have servers. Remember, we put our Pro FTP server in, right? Now we can edit configuration files. We can do all kinds of stuff here without having to worry about the command line. And we can apply our changes. Okay. Now, like I said, I run mine standalone. This controls your standalone. And when you don't need your FTP server running, just hit stop server. That simple. Here's our SSH server. Remember, we installed that first thing. Go in here, edit our configuration files. Right? If we want to use an off port, we can change the port number right there. If we want to allow root to log in, we do not want this. We don't want roots to be able to log in without a password. That was dangerous. I want that set to no. And then we can save and then apply changes. It's just a lot easier than issuing a whole bunch of stuff with the command line. And like I said, even though I prefer command line, this is really a lot easier. Go in here to networking. You can turn on bandwidth monitoring. You can do all kinds of stuff. You mess with your firewall. Go into configuration settings. Set up your different interfaces. You know, if you have multiple IP addresses, you can set them up here. What's activated at boot, what's activated right now, that sort of thing. As you can tell, here's my IP address for my router. I also happen to have a router that supports IPv6, so there's that IP address there. This is really just kind of a cool tool to have. Actually, let's try something else here. Let's try that 3000 over here. No, it doesn't want to work. I'll have to research that and get back to you on that one. There are other tools that also have web interfaces, such as cups, which is for your print server. Install cups, which I happen to forget what port that is. But that's what Google's for, right? Cups, web interface, port. Bet y'all didn't know the cups came with an interface port, did you? It's port number 631 according to Ubuntu. What did I say, 631? So we'll go to 631 and see what happens. Just not having very good luck at all today with web interfaces. Okay. Real quick, we're going to install a couple more, and then I'll end this video. Sudo apt-get install. We're going to do rkhunter, which is a rootkit hunter. Linux isn't really susceptible to viruses such like Windows is, but it can get infected with what's known as rootkits, which is what the RK stands for. We're going to put in my favorite Wi-Fi monitoring tool. Okay, and we're going to do gparted. Checking off my list here. Oh yeah, IP trap. It's always a good one to have. Looks like I need to do an auto remove too. I'll show you that along as well as auto clean here in just a second. Rootkit Hunter version 1.4.2. Okay, I will get back to Rootkit Hunter here. Actually, no, we'll just do it now. Sudo Rootkit Hunter update. That's going to update it's kind of like an antivirus thing, so it's going to update its definitions, if you will. Now we're going to do a check. It should be a clean machine. We just installed everything, and I haven't installed anything that I do not trust, which is key when running a Linux box. It doesn't matter, you know, what's going on. If you leave open security holes, or if you just install stuff haphazardly that you don't know what it does, then you yourself are opening yourself up to being infected. Look at all these different rootkits. Okay, there we go. No suspected files, no possible rootkits, which is exactly what we want. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. When we come back, we're going to do wine and lamp. See you on a minute.